Yo guys, my name is GhostX and today I've got another Battlefield 4 weapon guide, and we are on the assault rifles, and so far we've gotten halfway through them, and now we are on the M16A4, which is a burst fire assault rifle by default. It's 3-round burst fire as opposed to fully automatic like the other assault rifles. My previous episode, which was episode 7, was on the AUG A3, so make sure you're checking that out as well. And my previous weapon guides on Battlefield 4. I've also started a Titanfall weapon guide series, and there'll be more videos on that soon, so stay tuned for that. So the M16A4, many people will be accustomed to this rifle, especially the aesthetics of the rifle. It's a very popular rifle. Worldwide it's kind of an icon. Everyone knows this weapon. It's probably next to the AK-47 in terms of recognition as a weapon. The M16A4 is different from the M16A3 that was in Battlefield 3 and that will return in Battlefield Hardline, because that weapon is fully automatic fire, but apart from that they are the same weapon. But this weapon just happens to be 3-round burst instead. That is the A4 variant of the M16. So with this weapon I tend to use reflex sights on it, and by that I mean the red dot sights, such as the American red dot sight, which I got on there at the moment, the Chinese Coyote red dot sight, and the Russian Cobra red dot sight. I like all of them, but my favorite is the American one, which is why I'm using it on here. I realized that the reflex sights are actually a bit better to use on this weapon than scopes. A lot of people think because this weapon's 3-round burst, and to be honest it hasn't really got that much recoil unless you start spamming the trigger, then they put on a scope, but actually this weapon seems to do a lot better with just a reflex or a holographic sight on it. For more open view, especially with a burst fire weapon, I tend to use the reflex sights more than the holographic sights, so that's why I recommend using a red dot sight on this weapon as opposed to a scope or a holographic sight. I've also got a muzzle brake on it to help stabilize the weapon, because this weapon can get extremely outrageous recoil if you spam the trigger button. At normal it's got moderate recoil. In fact, it almost looks like it's got absolutely no recoil at all if you're just carefully taking 3-round bursts at the enemy. But if you keep spamming that trigger button, you'll realize that the muzzle will just go straight up in the air and you won't hit a single thing. So the muzzle brake is there to help negate that, and also I've got a angled foregrip on it, which also further helps to stabilize the weapon, especially in run and gun scenarios. And you also notice I've got a laser sight on there as well, because hip firing this weapon is not something you should really do, but if you're coming to close quarters you're just gonna have to do that, and having a laser sight on it makes it just that little bit extra helping with that. Especially on close quarters maps like Operation Locker and Operation Metro. For this particular map, Pearl Market in the Dragon's Teeth DLC expansion, this weapon actually is really good. You'll see I get a lot of kills on this gameplay, because if you stay up on the rooftops, here I'm not doing a very good example of that, but on parts of this gameplay you'll see I'm on the rooftops and I'm absolutely wrecking people. I'm not exactly camping because I'm moving around the rooftops and stuff, but staying up on the rooftops and shooting down at enemies and across on other rooftops, this weapon really excels. It's got some really good range on it. The accuracy is really good. And obviously the recoil isn't that bad unless you're spamming that trigger, so it is a really good gun, and especially on these Dragon's Teeth maps I find this is a very good gun for the new maps. So if you're playing the new maps regularly, you've got the new DLC, or you're a premium member and you have unlocked this weapon, then it's a very good weapon to use on these maps. So that gets my seal of approval, so to speak. As for camo, I thought I'd throw on the DPM6 camo. Obviously it doesn't really make a difference on this map, it's kind of useless, but I haven't used that camo on my weapons before, so if you haven't got it, it's part of the second Assault DLC. I believe you have to complete a veteran assignment on that to get this. I think it's something to do with the flag, I can't remember. I think I actually got it accidentally. I don't even think I did the thing, and somehow it glitched and I got it, but it's a really good camouflage. I like it. Well, I wouldn't say it's good, it's actually kind of not really a camouflage, but it's really nice to use. I like the kind of black tiger kind of sort of colours on the orange and black. So some background information about the real version of this gun. It's actually developed by Armalite in the US. It is a US weapon and it's fielded by all of the US armed forces at the moment, but they are looking to replace it. They have looked at several options, including the HK-M416, or it's more commonly known as the HK-416. They've also looked at other manufacturers like FN Herzl's Scar series of assault rifles. They've looked at lots of different alternatives, but nothing has actually fully replaced the M16A4 yet. It's such a good rifle, it's reliable, it's irreplaceable. like the AK-47, they just keep updating it, and that's exactly what they've been doing with the M16 ever since the Vietnam War. It's been around that long, where it was known back then as the M16A1. Before that, it was just the M16, and some people called it the M16VN because of the Vietnam War. So it was designed by, I think it was someone called Eugene Stoner, who went on to design the Stoner 63 as well, which is also a very good, reliable weapon. With Navy SEALs, they use that quite a lot. So this weapon is fielded by pretty much every US Armed Forces, and it's also used worldwide as well. It's a very reliable weapon. So it is very much like the AK-47 in that sense, but apart from that, it's nothing like the AK-47 in performance-wise or looks-wise. It's sort of famous for it's just so reliable and that kind of thing. But in terms of the game, I really like using this weapon. As I said, it's good for it's actually good for the close quarters maps. You wouldn't actually think that. It does need to have an open space to use it. You don't want to be hip firing this weapon too much, so you want a small map with open viewpoints, exactly like Pearl Market, which is why I got the gameplay here in the background. I think this is the perfect map to use this weapon on. It shows its glory here, and when you stay in a certain place for a while and shoot some people, you rack up quite a lot of kills with this weapon. You want to use that rate of fire to your advantage at close quarters as well, even if it means spamming that trigger button, but make sure you've got the laser sight on it if you plan on doing that. So yeah, it is a really good gun in conclusion. I would definitely use it on the Dragon's Teeth maps, and I would try and stay away from using it on Operation Lock and Operation Metro, but any other map, I think this weapon is a very good all-round weapon, as the M16 is kind of revered to do anyway. You kind of expect that from the M16, so that's really good. I also have a review on the M16A3 in Battlefield Hardline when that's released, so stay tuned for that, guys, even though that'll be kind of next year. If you haven't seen it yet, I would suggest looking at my new full game idea called Call of Duty Endgame, where I made a standalone zombies game idea. That was a really good video. I'd like you to check that out and give it a thumbs up if you like the ideas in that video. Make sure you check the description of that video, because I fill in everything I couldn't put in the video in there. You should get a full description of the idea. It is one of my biggest ideas. Yeah, I will be doing a lot more of my full game ideas, and also stay tuned for episode 9 of my Battlefield 4 weapon guide. We'll be taking a deep look in the next assault rifle on the list. So I can't wait to show you that, guys, and I can't wait to do more full game ideas because they're starting to get a bit popular now. And also my final content pack idea for Call of Duty Ghosts, I will be revealing on my social media sites very soon, so stay tuned for that, guys. Lots of cool content coming up, and there'll be a lot more PC Ultra settings gameplay as well because of my new gaming PC. So yeah, do stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on my next video. Ghost X out.